Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Unlocking Tampa Bay. I am your host, Bryan Burns. I'm joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Molly Barbieri.
Hi everyone, welcome back.
We are on location, if you can't tell. We are at the Florida Museum of Photographic Arts. We're here joined by Robin Odell, the executive curator. Thank you for coming on with us. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for coming, seeing us, and doing this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about your job? What is an executive curator? Excuse me.
Yeah, executive curator.
Executive curator?
Yeah,
I don't know why I doubted myself
it's a
there.
fancy term, but I'm a curator, which in essence means I come up with the ideas and make the exhibitions happen.
Awesome.
I also take care of the collection. We have a collection of thousands of photographs, so
Gotcha.
I do that too.
How do you decide when you have a lot of photographs, a lot of things that you could put on display, and you have to decide, well, what are the ones that we want to actually display for the public? How do you make that decision of kind of what makes the cut?
Well, a lot of things here at FMoPA we do every year. This exhibit is an example of that. We also do a student competition. We do member shows. So a good amount of them, because we do at least 12 exhibits a year. Mm-hmm. So a lot of those are things that we do every year to support the community, and they support us. But in the larger gallery, we do the bigger exhibits, and those are usually featuring national or international artists. And it really is just, I go to photo conferences all over the world, and you meet artists, and then you bring things back that you think people will be interested in and enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Do you try and incorporate a lot of the Tampa culture and history into the exhibits, or is it more of a just kind of the people that you're more looking for?
So when I'm choosing exhibits here at the museum, I try to make it varied. Sometimes, we have such talented artists here in the Tampa Bay area, so we want to support those, but also we want to feature international artists so that people's ideas of what can be done is expanded too. So we do some of both.
Nice. So we're currently here to talk about the International Photography Competition. This is an every year thing. How many years have you been doing this?
I believe 15.
15, that's awesome. We've been partnered with you, Visit Tampa Bay, doing this for I think like 5-6 years. So we're really excited to be a part of it and showcase the international photographies.
We're really grateful of the support, that's for sure.
There's a couple, so we have the IPC, which is on display. We're kind of in front of some of the photographs you can see here. There's also another exhibit on display over here, and this is about the cigars and the history of cigar factories in Tampa Bay. And you were showing us some of the photographs of the old buildings that, if you're from Tampa, you see these factories all over the place. You might not know exactly what that building was, but you see these 3-story brick buildings kind of all over the place, whether it's in Ybor, whether you're in West Tampa. So right now you have a really good exhibit on what that history looks like in Tampa. Could you talk a little bit about that exhibit and just how that kind of came to be?
Sure, absolutely. It's fun, isn't it, to see all the buildings right together?
Right, because you see them all spread over, but you don't see them all together. To see the similarities between them.
Yeah, that exhibition is a combination of 19th and early 20th century photographs from a collection in New York, just about cigars in general, people smoking cigars, people growing cigars, all those kind of things. And it's paired with local photographer, Zach Whitman, who was commissioned by J.C. Newman, which is really the last family-owned cigar company in the United States.
Right.
The last functioning one.
Yeah, the last functioning one.
An incredible attraction for our destination.
They together, documented the last 25 buildings, but also there's these wonderful atmospheric photographs from the inside. You know how you just always want to crawl in there and crawl around and see what it looks like? So this is like a little picture into if you went inside a factory, what you might see.
It's like a portal through time, and you can kind of be there and see what you can get from their experiences. I always think it's super interesting when I hear stories about the cigar workers and the different factories and how they would go on break and have Cuban sandwiches and deviled crabs and
and the lectures would read to
it's kind of the culture of it all and how they really created their own little communities is super interesting to kind of So kind of seeing that documented now
Right.
is really cool too, and
And
the evolution of it.
I love it as a photo geek because it in some ways also it's telling the history of photography through cigars, because there's daguerreotypes from all the way to the very beginning of photography, and amber types and tin types. So you get a really wide variety of works telling the story throughout the whole, history of photography. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we could take a little walk through there in a little bit, but our focus here today is the International Photography Competition. This went on display. So we're here, it's June 18th. The podcast will probably come out a week or so later. This went on display June 16th, 2 days ago. You guys got everything up.
And installing it 2 days ago.
There's a wonderful reception that's going to happen tonight where everybody can come in and see these beautiful photographs. This photograph, let's talk about this one real quick, because this is probably when I was looking at some of the photographs that were going to be in the competition. This was the one that really stood out to me, because you have a chicken, which, Ybor City is synonymous with chickens, but kind of the life cycle of a chicken. You've got an egg, you've got the raw chicken, then you've got the chicken sandwich. And then as you pointed out, you even have some ants down here, which kind of, I guess, leads to the death of the chicken. So, as you're putting these displays together, as you're trying to decide, what goes up on the wall, what is going to be a winner, what is something like this, how does that speak to you, and how does that end up on the wall here with this competition?
So this competition is judged this year by 9 international different artists, like from Japan and Albania and all different countries, and they're the ones who actually decide who the winners are. We had, for this competition, 2,709 entries from 60 different countries.
Wow.
The winning, there's 7 categories, and they pick the 3 top in each category. So 21 photos overall, and there's just in this gallery photos represented from 14 different countries.
Wow,
So,
that's incredible.
It's truly an international exhibition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's take a look around. We'll do a little walk and talk, and you can kind of show us maybe some of your favorites and maybe give us a little bit of insight into some of the photographs that are up.
Sure.
So and this one, did it win? Like, was it one of the top ones in a category?
Exactly. This is the first place abstract,
Okay.
right? So this just wonderful 17-year-old young man who has used his creativity to make this really interesting image, not just from photography, but also acrylic paint and oils and dish soap to make this one-of-a-kind, really interesting image.
So did the 17-year-old, did they paint this first and then take a photograph of it? Like, I'm just trying to envision the process here.
I don't know for certain, but my guess would be that he made this kind of crazy amalgam of stuff and then photographed it.
That's amazing.
I don't. What ones?
Just
intrigue you?
show us whichever ones
do you wanna-
that kind of stand out to you, and we can kind of look ourselves and.
I do want to talk about the best in show.
Yes,
absolutely. Up here, and this one too is one of my favorites.
Okay.
And they're going to be 3 very different pieces.
So this is one best in show. So this would be
Correct.
deemed to be
That's-
the top photograph for the competition for the entirety of this
Right.
exhibit.
This artist, who is from Iran, won best in competition and also won first place in people's and portrait. It's showing a young widow. Her husband had a job currying things back and forth between Iran and Iraq.
Okay.
And he got killed doing that because it was very dangerous.
Yeah.
And so this is just a beautiful, sensitive photograph of the widow.
And so when you're judging these, because it is a competition, do you know that backstory going into it? That kind of the impact of what the photograph is showing as you're judging this?
The artists, when they submit their work, they do a brief bio and a brief description. Mm-hmm. So yes, the judges do know that story.
Okay. And I would imagine that plays a little bit of a part into what you deem to be the highest quality.
I mean, I can't speak for the judges,
right.
But I judged lots of times, and sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
You know? Like sometimes it's great to know that information, and sometimes you just go, I just love this image.
Sometimes a purpose behind an image can add weight to it that might not have been there before when you're looking at it in a different perspective.
And then, you know, sometimes it works the other way too.
Right.
You know, sometimes you're like, oh, that's not what I thought it was. Okay.
What you said, 2,709 entries?
Yeah.
I believe it was. So how do you go through all those? How do you decide? I mean, I see there's probably like 20 photos on display here, maybe more than that, but how do you decide like these 20 are going to be what gets displayed? These are going to be the competition winners. Like, how do you whittle it down from such a large library of, photographs?
So yes, 2,709 entries, but we have 9 judges all over the world.
Okay.
So they're the ones at the beginning, because it's so many, the judges are split up and, you know, judge different categories because there's 7 categories. And then as it winnows down, then all the judges come in and weigh on the top 21 photographs. And then because it's so international, we print and frame them and hang them on the walls.
Okay.
Because often, and I think this is one of the examples, we, even though it costs a small amount to enter, you can apply for it and get a scholarship if you're not able to pay the small entry fee. And this is an example of, I believe, someone who did that.
Which is incredible because they literally won first place and, you know, best in show. So that's awesome.
And it's wonderful that we're able to open it up like anyone in the world.
Just being able to extend that opportunity and just kind of show that we're inclusive.
It's not just people who have money. It's anyone, anywhere.
Yep.
So.
Let's go, we'll take a look at this photo here. As you said, this one kind of spoke to you a little bit.
Yeah.
And so what is it about this photograph that, is that, so it looks like you have the earth back
this
here?
is a photograph taken in Savannah, Georgia. So certainly not what you think of when you think of Savannah, Georgia. So like the back scenes of Savannah, right? And this like weird globe that makes it feel like a UFO or something. But shortly after this photograph was taken, it turned into a Starbucks.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah. And so one of the reasons I love it is because it points out the amazing thing that photography is able to do, which is to stop time.
Right, capture a moment.
Capture a moment. Timeless picture that it feels like it's out of a Spielberg movie or something,
yes,
right?
it looks exactly like that. It looks like it's right out of the 80s, honestly.
And you have the old school
The old car.
Right, yeah. It looks like you're taken back in time.
Yeah. And so then, and I love photographs where you just you get drawn in and you start looking at all the little things.
The small details that really bring it all together.
This one, when I was going through some of the photographs that we would be seeing today, I couldn't quite figure out what it was.
This is probably my favorite, honestly.
This one is?
Yeah, I think the color is just absolutely beautiful in it. It kind of just looks kind of washed out in a way of like there's some type of filter over the lens and it's not too clear exactly what it is, but I feel like you can kind of have some interpretations about what it could mean. And I don't know, to me, it's just like a very calming picture. Like it just kind of looks like a sunset with like...
It does, yeah.
I don't know exactly, but just like in a field or on a highway driving when it's like getting dark and there's a sunset.
I think that might have been what it started off. This is an artist from the Ukraine.
Okay.
And from what I understand, I think he took, like a photo of a field or grasses or something. But then the actual film, he like irradiated. The same as like if it was exposed to like an atomic explosion or something. And so then it altered the image.
Like the chemicals kind of created some type of filter on the photo and it really just kind of added an extra layer of, I don't even really know, just kind of like color and emotion to it.
You look up here and you just see like kind of this gradient here where it's like dots and it fades into like the closer you get, the more you can kind of see.
But then again, this is just like the magic abyss or something.
Yeah. I mean, this almost kind of looks like a little bit like the Northern Lights, like just a small little,
see that.
A little bit of green there.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah.
And to me, I could have taken photos and said, "Oh, I messed up on this one. I had it, pointed to something," but no, it was actually something like very beautiful.
And artists do that all the time. You hear that from photographers, where they'll, the first time they go through, you do it too on your phone, right? You go like, "Oh, not this. I don't like this. That was a mistake or whatever." And then later you go back and you're like, "Oh."
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute, I did something there.
So this is Cigars, and we were talking a little bit about this in the intro. And how long will this be on display?
This will be up until the middle of July.
Okay. And
I think July 19th. is the
July
last day.
19th? So certainly plenty of time for
Plenty of
anybody
time. Come on
listening or
down.
viewing this podcast to come out and take a look at this exhibit. But you had mentioned, you know, the 25 different cigar factories that can be found around Tampa. You know, you see them in Ybor City, you see them a lot in West Tampa, and it's just so impressive to kind of see them all right here, like in one spot.
Yeah, it's one of the things I learned that I found really interesting was the whole history of West Tampa.
Yeah.
And how many cigar factories and cigar workers and those kind of things were in West Tampa too, because we always just associate it with Ybor, but
Ybor,
West
Cigar
Tampa was
City.
also like for a short period of time, its own city.
Yeah.
And then even when it got incorporated into Tampa, was its own separate big cigar industry. So
Right.
I think that's really interesting that a lot of people don't know. But these are the factories that are the buildings that are left in all of Tampa, including Ybor and West Tampa. So
And you said these photographs were taken in what time frame?
these are modern. These are now.
Yeah. So these are all within the last couple of years.
Yeah, last year I think he took them all. And,
Okay.
yeah.
I like how they all have the same composition and kind of shows the similarities between all of them and how they really designed each cigar factory. Like they really just did that intentionally, and then it's like copy paste. Like it's really cool how they kind of had a system down.
Well, yes. I
Yeah.
mean, early on, a lot of them were wooden, but
Right.
they burned. You have to
But-
think people
Right.
smoking cigars in wooden buildings was not always the best idea. So I think part of it is like a lot of the brick and stone buildings are the ones
The
that
brick was
have,
a great transition.
have survived. But yes, I think Zach Whitman is the photographer, and he did just a really wonderful job of making it so you can stand here and compare each one. And he also, if you look around an exhibit, there's these like amazing also photos that he took inside the factories. So you get this feeling of what it would be like if you snuck into an old factory and were able to like kind of look around. So all kinds of
And most
different
of these factories are some of them are over a century old. I mean, J.C.
Absolutely.
Newman is.
Yeah.
It's the last standing functioning cigar factory in the United States. Thankfully, it's in Tampa.
Yeah.
We're grateful for the Newmans.
Yes, we absolutely are. And it's if you haven't been there, it's really fun to go, and they
Yeah.
give tours. And
Yeah,
you
it's
learn a lot. It's
fascinating.
really
They
fascinating.
do
Have you done the
cigar
cigar
rolling
rolling
classes.
experience?
I have not.
No, you should try that
I
sometime.
should.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even just to go into that room and you see the cigar rollers, you know, there's like 10, 15 people in there and they're all just rolling cigars. Usually they have a cigar that they're smoking. They have it, you know, sitting down in their ashtray while they're rolling. They'll take a puff, continue rolling. Like, it's just fascinating to see
Plus,
the whole
it's
process.
timeless, right?
Right.
It's like
It really
that's the
is
thing too.
timeless.
It's like some of these. I mean, here in this exhibit, there's photos all the way back to the 19th century, but even some of the contemporary photos that Zach took, you're kind of like, when was this taken? It has this kind of timeless, weird feel sometimes. Not weird.
And I mean,
guess.
J.C. Newman itself has a timeless feel to it because even all of the equipment that they use is
Right.
literally from America. Like it is right when they first opened J.C. Newman over
Right.
100 years ago. And they've kind of just kept that up and really continued with the historical integrity of it all.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see also what the buildings are now, right? Because J.C. Newman's is the only one that's actually really a cigar factory
Correct.
now. So there's schools and there's a U-Haul building and there's all kinds of other ways that people have used the buildings now. So
And I like what
kinda
you
cool.
said about kind of like it looks like you snuck in and you're getting a peek at it. Because I think we all have is, you know, if you've lived in Tampa for any period of time, you've seen one of these buildings. You're like, I wonder what it looks like.
Right.
I'd love to just go in and kind of explore.
yeah, and it's strange old elevators and like,
Yeah.
yes.
So this is
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
giving you a peek into that window.
Yeah.
Yes,
You-
definitely.
If you don't want to
Yeah.
get a trespassing charge, you can come here and
Right.
take a look.
Right. But great, Robin, thank you so much.
Yeah, this has been fascinating.
Yeah, the International Photography Competition goes on until when? When are we able to view this in-house?
August 2nd.
I think that's right, August 2nd.
August 2nd. All right, so we can see International Photography Competition until August 2nd at Florida Museum of Photographic Arts right here on 7th Avenue in Ybor City. So thank you, Robin, for having us.
It's
We
been
really
a pleasure.
appreciate it.
Thank you for giving us your insight, your expertise. It's been fascinating.
It's lovely to have you here, so thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you for adding to our culture and history in Tampa Bay.
Absolutely. And that's another episode of Unlocking Tampa Bay. Join us next time as we unlock more treasures around the Bay.